In every age of civilization, the education of a nation has been the mirror of its moral soul. When knowledge was guided by faith, societies produced men and women of virtue, humility, and integrity. When knowledge became detached from faith, learning turned into a race for material success, leaving the heart barren. Today, as the world advances in science and technology, it also descends into a moral vacuum, a world where intellect is sharp, but conscience is silent, and this silence is dangerous. Faith-based education is not about limiting reason. It is about enlightening it. It reminds the learner that wisdom does not come merely from books, but from a heart connected to divine truth. When the child learns about the laws of nature, faith teaches him that behind those laws stands a creator. When he learns history, faith teaches him to distinguish between right and wrong, and when he learns freedom, faith teaches him responsibility. This union between intellect and spirituality builds a character that can withstand the storms of moral confusion. In modern education systems, the moral foundation that once anchored societies has been steadily removed. Schools that once began with prayers now begin with test scores. The stories of prophets, sages, and righteous reformers that once inspired the young are replaced by celebrities and influencers. The purpose of education, once to make a person good, has been replaced by the goal of making a person successful. And yet, success without goodness is the greatest form of failure. Faith-based education rekindles that sacred purpose. It does not reject progress, but ensures that progress is guided by conscience. It teaches that honesty, respect, discipline, and compassion are not outdated values but timeless virtues. It trains the mind to think critically and the soul to live morally. It reminds parents, teachers, and students alike that true education is not about producing clever minds, but pure hearts. When a nation roots its education in faith, its youth become the guardians of truth. They learn that every blessing, knowledge, wealth, power must be used for the welfare of others. They grow to respect their parents, honor their teachers, and cherish the moral codes that built their civilization. They learn that life is not a competition, but a test, not a playground, but a journey toward accountability before God. Such an education creates peace in society because it first creates peace within the human soul. The revival of moral values begins in the classroom. Teachers are not merely instructors of information. They are cultivators of character. Parents are not mere guardians of children. They are the first educators of the heart. And the curriculum must not only teach what is seen, but what is unseen. The moral law, the spiritual truth, the meaning behind existence itself. Without this spiritual anchor, education becomes like a ship without a compass, wandering in an ocean of knowledge, but never reaching the shore of wisdom. The world today needs not just educated minds, but guided souls. The child who learns to pray before he learns to code, who learns to forgive before he learns to fight for his rights, who learns to serve before he seeks to lead, that child will grow into a moral giant. Faith-based education molds such souls. It rebuilds the moral architecture of a collapsing culture by nurturing a new generation that knows not only how to live, but why to live. History proves that civilizations rise when their education uplifts both intellect and spirit, and they fall when education feeds pride but starves the soul. The great scholars of the past, whether Muslim, Christian, Jewish, or others, built their wisdom upon the belief that all knowledge is sacred because it reveals the signs of the divine. It is this sacredness that must return to our classrooms if humanity wishes to restore its moral compass. Faith-based education is not merely a curriculum, it is a revival. A revival of conscience, a revival of respect, a revival of humility before God. When our children once again grow up learning that truth is higher than power, that purity is stronger than pleasure, and that faith is greater than fame, the moral revival of humanity will have begun. So let us rebuild education with the light of faith, to awaken the soul, to strengthen the heart, and to remind the world that without God, knowledge is incomplete. The true purpose of learning is not to master the world, but to serve it with faith, wisdom, and virtue. Please subscribe and press the bell icon to receive notifications of future videos when uploaded.